going to be diving in with something a little controversial, but it's also a follow-up from the previous article last week. But Vans and Supreme parent company VF Corp will also start firing unvaccinated employees. So VF Corp is the parent company of the popular brands of Vans, Supreme, Timberland, and the North Face, and they all have come out and said that they are firing unvaccinated employees. So VF Corp employees were notified via email as soon as January 31st that unvaccinated employees would be terminated without severance. Now, there have been some backlash at VF Corp's decision. Last month, some employees at even Vans headquarters stood in protest from this decision. So landed first Nike, now Vans and Supreme and others. Do you think other large corporations are going to follow, and who do you think is going to be next?
I mean, it's looking like it. I mean, whenever you have a company that big, we kind of talked about it a little bit off air, that you can kind of afford to make your own decisions. It's not really like government regulated to a certain extent. It's more kind of individually enforced. So, I mean, we talked about the Nike one. We put that video out and it got a lot of, this is a very opinionated topic, and we stay neutral. We're just kind of bringing the information. We definitely don't pick a side, this or that. But as far as like your question is, are other people going to do it? I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to start to happen, because I feel like especially we haven't heard anything about Adidas or New Balance or that stuff yet, but it's got to be coming. Like, because how does it look to not enforce it, or do you have a different set of guidelines at the top? Because who's really pulling the strings on that decision?
Well, it's definitely corporate. I mean, there's nothing.
Exactly.
There's no government.
And not all corporate leaders are the same. Right. Everyone's going to have different personalities,
opinions,
different beliefs.
Right. So
what if someone's like not anti-vax? I don't even want to say that, but like, what if someone's against, the COVID mandates or the vaccine mandates, to where maybe they do just say, hey, it's up to you if you're vaccinated or not, this and that. I'm assuming there's got to be some type of mask regulation if you're unvaccinated, I would imagine.
I don't know. I think it's all up to the business discretion. But so are you going to lock in that you think Adidas is going to come out next? We're going to hear it next week?
Yeah. I mean, you said, because it was right after we did the Nike one. Yeah. And like a day later, it was like Supreme is doing this. And then I didn't even know about, all the other, I guess
it's
Supreme,
all one company.
All one company. So I guess that would make sense. So it's probably going to happen. I side on the, wanting people to be safe, but that looks different for everyone. You can't say get the vaccine so you're safe, it'll make you safer, you can fight the symptoms better, and then someone's like, I don't know what's in that vaccine. I know that if we want to spin it and keep it like in the world of sports, Kyrie's the biggest topic that, revolving that whole decision. He literally sat out not getting the vaccine, can't play in New York because he wants to, I guess it was like to speak for the people that don't have that opinion or that platform. Now, he eventually came back, because you start to realize that if you're not on that bright stage, you just stop talking about him. Like, he didn't have the same influence that he could have if he was out there playing. So he decided to come back and play part-time. They brought him back part-time. Now he can kind of still use his platform. I've even heard rumblings that he may get the vaccine. So kind of what is it that changes your mind? Like, if someone hasn't gotten the vaccine at this point, don't you just have to almost accept that? Or what's really going to make you change your mind? Or how do you even look now? If you're like, hey, you got to get the vaccine. It's like, oh, I stood my ground to this point, but now I'll get it. Like, what changed? What changes other than, like, if it's your job and it's your literal like life?
Yeah,
to be able
I don't know. I mean, it's
support.
I think it's just personal independence. I mean, if it just comes up to, if they've seen enough facts or enough evidence, and they can make that personal decision.
There's so many different sources of info out there. It's like, where are you getting it from?
Right.
I've heard it. Like, I heard the analogy. It's like some people watch Fox, some people watch, NBC, different forms of news, and whoever, like, you could watch Fox and say CBS is the worst. But if you watch CBS and you think Fox is the worst, but you're both believing two different things, and only one of them can be true. Either one of them is true or neither is true. Right. But either way, you're committing to one thing. So it's like,
it's tough.
Where are you getting your information from? Like, oh, I'm getting my information from Joe Rogan, like Aaron Rodgers says. Right. It's like, I'm getting my information from Joe Rogan. Dr. Fauci doesn't really know anything. It's certain things like that. And it's like, it's you see people say like you're undercutting the people that have studied these infectious diseases and all these different things like that their whole life, just for someone to say, oh, I don't think the vaccine's real and I don't think it works and stuff like that. And that's just, obviously I don't really have an opinion. I think everyone should be able to choose. I don't love the idea of like mandating something, but if the information's out there, like sometimes you just got to figure out, is someone just trying to avoid it?
Right. Yeah.
Or
It's.
not. I mean,
It's definitely tough. It's definitely. I'm sure we are gonna. This is not the last of
no,
what's coming
it'll
from
be
this.
it'll be popping up more.
Yeah, I'm sure other businesses are gonna go, but.